back to Bookish.Taylor. I am Taylor, and today I'm here to bring you my July TBR. Now, this also happens to be my Owls Readathon TBR. I had recently seen people putting up TBRs for it because I think the Newts is happening in August. So I was like, alright, let's go ahead and do my Owls so I can do the Newts. If you don't know what that is, Newts and Owls are two tests that happen in the world of Harry Potter. In order to take your Newts, you have to take your Owls. So because Newts are happening in August, you have to do the Owls Readathon before you can do the Newts Readathon. So here I am with July and my Owls TBR. So let's go ahead and dive on in. The first subject is Ancient Runes, and that is a book with a symbol on it, and I'm going to go with Glass Sword. This has a crown on it. Crowns are a symbol of royalty. I started Red Queen earlier this year, and I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed this. This is the second book, and I have been meaning to binge the rest of this series, and since Warstorm has just come out, I totally finally can. So, yeah, I'm really excited. Subject number 2 is Arithmancy, and that is to read a book with a number on the cover. Now I'm kind of cheating a little bit because I had a really hard time finding a book with a number on the cover, but I'm going to go with Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone 20-year edition, and this is the beautiful hardback Hufflepuff version. I'm not going to be physically reading this, but I am going to be listening to this on audiobook. Subject number 3 is Astronomy, and that is to read a sci-fi novel. Now, for Tome Topple, I am reading the entire Illuminae Files trilogy. I haven't even opened Illuminae yet, but for this challenge, I am going to use Gemina, which is book 2 by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is, like I said, the second book, and I think it follows a different people, but I'm not 100% sure. Number 4 is Care of Magical Creatures, and this is to read a book with a creature on the cover, and I'm gonna go with To Kill a Kingdom. That's octopus legs on the cover and their creature. Subject number 5 is Charms, and that is to read a fantasy, and I'm going to continue on and read King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard. This is book number 3 in the Red Queen quartet. I think there are 4. This is kind of a like futuristic world with magic powers, so I think that makes it fantasy. Magic is fantasy anyway. Defense Against the Dark Arts is subject number 6, and that is to read a book with dark societies or clubs, and I'm just gonna go with Black Butler. I have volumes 1 and 2. From what I understand, he is a demon butler, so that's perfect for Defense Against the Dark Arts, and really excited to get some manga thrown in. Number 7 is Divination, and this is to read a book with a prophecy. Now, I'm kind of twisting this a little bit. I am receiving Sight Witch by Susan Dennard within the next couple of days. It's supposed to be here on the 2nd of July, so it's going to be perfect timing, and that follows a young girl by the name of Ryber. She is introduced in the first book, and this just kind of is a prequel kind of book, and yeah. It involves sight witchery, which they can see into the future. So prophecies tell the future, sight witches can see into the future. It fits. Next up is Herbology, and that is a book with a nature word on the cover. And I'm going to go with Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. This is book number 2. I absolutely really enjoyed, I thoroughly enjoyed Truth Witch, and I did not intend to because I had heard mixed things, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I believe I gave it a 4-star on Goodreads, so that's anywhere between a 3.5 and a 4-star rating. I haven't quite decided. Wind, that's a nature word, right? It fits, and I'm really excited to read this and get caught up on the series before Blood Witch comes out in January. Next is History of Magic, and this is historical fiction, and I'm going to go with Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Maniscalco. This is book 2 in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and I need to read this before Escaping Houdini comes out in the next couple of months. So this follows Audrey Rose and Thomas as they leave London and go to Transylvania. So, like I said, this is the second book. I can't really give too much more than where they're heading, but I'm really excited. Muggle Studies is next up, and that is to read a Muggle nonfiction, and I'm going to go with Night by Eli Wessel. I read this in high school. I believe I was a sophomore, and I absolutely loved it. Eli Wessel his trilogy, his Night trilogy that he put out is, I believe it follows him during what was going on when he was a younger child in World War II. Second to last is Potions, and this is a book with alchemy, and I'm going to go with Full Metal Alchemist. This is the bind-ups of 1, 2, and 3. I don't know much about this. Amanda from A Court of Books and Love, who I trust and love dearly, recommended this, so I'm gonna read it. And lastly is Transfiguration, and this is a book that deals with shape-shifting. Now, I don't want to give away what happens in any of these books, but in Storm Siren there is a story that goes around about a Drewolf, which is a demon that can take the shape of a wolf, but he also is kind of like a body snatcher. Like, he will insert himself into, like, his being into a different body and kind of take over. His role, the Direwolf, continues on into this next book. This is Siren's Fury by Mary Weber. This is the second book in the Storm Sirens trilogy, and I chose this because Direwolf is actually a relatively large part of this book. So he's a shape-shifting body snatcher. So there are 12 books that I'm going to be reading for the month of July, and this is also my OWLS testing, so I'm really excited. I have the majority of July left at my old job, so I'm hoping to get a lot of these read before then, because once I start my new job, I don't even have my new job, but once I get my new job, I have no idea what my schedule is going to be like. So for right now, I want to make the best of it, and I'm working long hours, and these long hours can be spent reading books. Are you participating in the OWLS? If so, what subject are you most excited to be completing? I think I'm really excited to be completing a couple different ones, because I know the subjects where I'm going to be reading the Witchland series, because I'm going to be catching up, and I'm also really excited to read the Red Queen series because I'm going to be finishing that up soon. But I'm also really excited for the manga. So yeah, I think I'm just excited for this whole month in general. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye!